Right. So this is about Saki, and Saki is actually a pen name. His real name is H. Munro, and he lived in the Victorian times. When Queen Victoria uh, ruled England, and the British colonies were there. So many British colonies were there. That colonized mentality is there with the aunt also. In this story also, we see the character of aunt as a British aristocrat person. Aristocrat means a person who is in a higher rank. That means a lady with like boastful qualities, and those the rich class fellows. So we feel that in this story also, this Nicola belongs to a kind of a rich class, right? And the aunt is a kind of a boastful and authoritative character, and that shows the colonized mentality of the people there in that period, right? So we wrote these things, and lumber room is a rich, large room which we can see in richer houses, and some ornaments have been stored there. It is in the modern terms we call it a storeroom. And the lumber room is an interesting children's story. The story is woven around the young, mischievous boy Nicola and his authoritative, rude aunt. In the story, the writer presents the conflict between the child's world and the adult's world. So we have seen this throughout the story, how the conflict starts. Whenever Nicola gets a chance to hurt aunt, he does that, and the aunt also the same. So in that sense, in a way, we think that this aunt is a kind of a childlike person. මොකද දැන් ළමයි නම් එහෙමයි, they do whatever they want, and they don't think so much, and they are not far sighted when they are doing things. Their behaviors are not far sighted. But the adults should be far more matured, right? But we don't see this the aunt as a matured person, because we feel like that we feel that the aunt is also kind of a person who is in the state of the in the same state of Nicola. Nicola is a small kid, and we can see that the aunt is also in the same status. Okay. So he seems to be suggesting that the adulthood causes one to lose all sense of fun, imagination, while the childhood is really motivated by fun and play. So this is another thing to be considered. Right. So I think we wrote this small description about this. Did we? Yes or no? We wrote this description, right? Before starting the short story. Yes. We wrote it, right? Sendini Sanatma, did we write this description? Sitmi?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, we wrote it. And the first theme. So, the themes are the messages which are conveyed in the short story or the poem that we study. So here in the short story, the most important and the major theme is differences or conflicts between the world of children and the world of adult. World of children and the world of adult. In other words, we call this generation gap, right? In other words, we call this generation gap. So here I have written, the adult's point of view is narrow, authoritative, and serious. And the adults believe that children have no minds of their own. So adults always think that they cannot. The children are incapable of doing things on their own. They should always assist them, and they should intervene in all of their affairs, right? So they are authoritative and really serious. They don't think in, they don't, they are not light-minded people, right? So, and the adults believe that children have no minds of their own. So, they have to be molded with morality and religion, right? So, they always think that we should give them the moral values, the religion, they should follow all these things. That is the way of that is the way of thinking of the adults. And Nicola's aunt represents this world of adults in the story, right? So generation gap starts like this. So you can see the conflict. And ළමයි හිතන්නේ හැමතිස්සෙම අපි හරි. But adults ලා හිතන්නේ ළමයි හැමතිස්සෙම guide කරන්න ඕනේ. මෙයාලගේ හැම දෙයකටම අපි intervene වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා, right? So they are always serious, right? So there's a conflict. ගැටීමක් තියෙනවා එතකොට මේ දෙගොල්ලන්ගේ අතරේ, these two generations. And on the other hand, children are imaginative, creative, active, and enjoy even the simple pleasures. To them, adults are arrogant and incorrect all the time, right? Nicola represents the world of children in the story. So we can see how contrasting the attitudes of children are, right? So they always think that we are correct and what we do is correct. The adults are unnecessary involving in our lives. That is how the children think, right? So we need to write some quotations for this theme as well. First of all, we'll write this, right? Write the topic themes and write the first theme, differences or the conflicts between the world of children and world of child and the world of adult.
Teacher, we wrote this.
You wrote that?
Yes, teacher.
I have sent you the note, no?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. We wrote this last week. Okay. So did we write some quotations for this? Huh?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Right. Then we need to talk about the second theme, right? Did we talk about the second theme? Yes.
Second one also wrote, teacher.
Second one also you wrote.
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Then did we write some quotations for the second one?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Third one, what about the third one?
We did that also.
Sorry?
We did it.
Did it? Okay. Right. So did we discuss all the themes there?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Then we are going to the techniques, right? So today we need to discuss the techniques.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So did we write quotations for all these three themes?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, all right. All right. So we are going to the techniques then, right? So the plot. Plot means plot කියන්නේ කතා වස්තුව. Right? So we first of all, before discussing this short story, we have discussed some features of a short story, characteristics of a short story. There also we learned that short stories are always short and it gives only the necessary information, no detailed descriptions about things, and we need to think about those things, right? So here the plot is interesting, fast moving, light, very enjoyable and dramatically presented. So it's flowing like a drama. We can visualize the scenes of the short story like a drama, very dramatic, right? So that is one thing. And the language is simple, conversational language is there. Built up phrases. There are some phrases used. What are the phrases used? Can you tell me? Like, there was a phrase about the adults. What is that? Repeated. One phrase has been repeated about the adults. Can somebody text
All,
me? Yes?
all the wise and better people.
Sorry? Yeah, can you repeat it? I didn't hear. One phrase has been repeated. Older, wiser, yes, very good. Older, wiser, and better people. Some phrases, right? And you can see soi-disant aunt, right? Right, there are some phrases like that. Two dialogues take place between Nicola and his aunt. So, can you write the first one? Techniques, the plot, and simple conversational language, built up phrases. Write two examples here also. You didn't write this, okay? Did you write it?
Not
Yes,
easy.
teacher.
Okay, then write it. Write the topic techniques, right? And also write the phrases as examples. Send me to the chat once you are finished, right? Okay, we are going to the next one. Use of humor, fun, sarcasm, and irony. This is really important, right? This technique is really important because this short story has been created as a humorous one as well. Like this seems to be a children's short story as well as this is a very humorous one. There are so many humorous elements in this short story. So if we talk about it, so humor means upahasya, ne? Fun is there, sarcasm kiyanetik, irony, telling things in a like in a odd way, that you have to understand it by analyzing it, not directly said. So here there are some examples of humor, sarcasm, and irony. Nicola's game of the frog is funny. So see, he has planned it and he wanted the adults to believe this trick. So he actually put a frog in the basin of milk. And Nicola mockingly speaks when aunt granted a punishment for him. Mockingly means he talks in a like a very sarcastic manner, right? Mockingly speaks. And there should be a C, right? There's a spelling mistake. Nicola mockingly speaks, M-O-C-K. Speaks when aunt granted a punishment for him, right? Then Bobby wants, see, aunt said that you should be at home. Now you are given a punishment. The other children are taken to the Jagborough sands, and you will left alone at home, and you cannot go anywhere. You are not taught to go to the gooseberry garden, and you are not go to the Jagborough sands. This is your punishment, right? But what Nicola said, it's really sarcastic, right? Bobby won't enjoy himself much. He told you twice, you often don't listen when you tell important things. Now, these quotations show that the aunt is not a good listener, and also ironically tells that the aunt is not sensitive towards children. And the Nicola's sarcastic way is there. Now, when he was given a punishment, he talks about the other people, and he just tells that, ironically, he tells it's not me who got the punishment, but you guys, because Bobby is not enjoying and the other girl is crying, scratching his knee, and all these things, right? So, and Nicola's behavior at the moment was sarcastic behavior. When she was given the when aunt was given the punishment, even the behavior was sarcastic. Said Nicola with a grim chuckle. අපහාසයට hina වෙන්නේ grim chuckle is දැන් විරිත්තනවා කියලා කියන්නේ just laughing in a sarcastic manner. Why not? Demanded Nicola. When the aunt said that you are not to go to the gooseberry garden, he said, why not? Right? See, his behavior is very sarcastic. And aunt's accident of falling into the rainwater tank is funny, ironic, because the punishment boomerangs. Right? So this is very sarcastic because just visualize, just imagine the aunt. Now we haven't told about the aunt's characteristics, like aunt's features, physical features were not given to us, but some of her characteristics has been given, like telling that he's a soi-disant and authoritative, and we can like picture an aunt, a well-built, like we have seen in films, no, very cruel aunts, so they have well-built and fat aunts, no. So a fat aunt is just, we can visualize the scene, a fat aunt is falling into a rainwater tank, right? So that is very funny. And ironically, there's irony as well. Ironically, it tells that the aunt had to pay for the punishment given to Nicola, right? So that is the thing. And the next thing, when aunt asks for help from Nicola, he tries to tease her, right? He is teasing her. It's really humorous. I was told I wasn't go to the gooseberry garden. Your voice doesn't sound like aunt's. You may be the evil one tempting me to be disobedient. Aunt often tells me that the evil one tempts me, that I always yield. This time I'm not going to yield. See, now Nicola knows that this is his aunt, but he acts in a very different way, right? He teases the aunt. So that is funny, humorous, and at the same time sarcastic. And the whole process of the aunt is humorous in the story, right? The whole process of the aunt is humorous. The the aunt, the character of the aunt also cause humor, because at times with what Nicola says, we can generalize some characteristics and features of the aunt. And aunt is always actually deceived. Now, even just see the gooseberry garden scene, she was always watching over the doors, and Nicola actually doesn't want to go to the gooseberry garden, but he shows that he wants to go to the gooseberry garden because he knows that the aunt is watching, right? So aunt is actually from the beginning, she was being teased, and she has been deceived actually by Nicola, right? So, and aunt taking the children except Nicola to the Jagborough sands, and nobody enjoyed there. They had to come back without enjoying, and they had to suffer. That children were crying for various reasons. And finally, what happened to her was she was fallen into another punishment was given to her. She wanted to punish Nicola, but she has been punished several times, right? So that is very sarcastic. And yeah, so from the beginning to the end, Aunt's character seems to be humorous. And the way Nicola takes the maximum benefit to enjoy out of the punishment given indirectly arouses humor. Because now for Nicola, going to the gooseberry garden is a stale delight now. And he had another plan to go to the lumber room, right? So he was very curious to go to the lumber room, and he has succeeded his plan, and he enjoyed the moment to the maximum, right? So he takes all these benefits out of the punishment given to him. That is the humorous part, right? He was given a punishment to stay at home, but he has enjoyed it with a real delight while the others were suffering. So that arouses humor as well, right? So you have to be, if you didn't understand anything from this part, please ask me, because sometimes there are questions telling, essay type questions, you are asked to write that the short story, The Lumber Room, is a humorous story. So you have to describe all these features if you are asked a question like this. We'll write one like that. So there are the facts, right? In the techniques list, you are getting the facts to tell that this is a humorous story, right? Okay, start writing this. I have given the quotations as well. So it will be useful for him. It will be useful for you whenever you are writing an answer, right? Okay, start writing. Once you have finished writing the part that you can see, tell me, then I'll